Okay, has everybody identified 10 problems with the dissertation? If you look carefully, there's more than 10. Anybody want to share their Google Docs with me? Okay, let's look at some of the errors. So yeah, I mean, there's a very obvious error, right? The table of contents. It's very obvious. Right? Yes, inconsistent fonts and the use of headings. I guess the page number should begin with 1, but it's not like critical. It's not a critical. Yep, the second list of figures could be a list of tables. Too many keywords. I didn't notice the too many keywords, but that's probably correct. There should be a blank line. So there's a lot of comments on the formatting here. So this is like more kind of an evaluation of the format. Okay, so inconsistent spacing. Okay, use a new page after getting into a new chapter. I would say this is not critical. Okay, this is definitely a good thing to notice. This is a big problem. That's a big problem. So figures could be screen captures, or they can be the original image. Both are possible. Yeah, so incorrect chapter number. Oh, okay, more. Okay. Code should be encoded. Okay, yes, that's right. That's correct. Let's see if I can catch up, or who can go faster, the reading or the writing? Yes, that's true. Like color has to be carefully chosen, right? In this. Okay, no more formatting. Yep, future work can be its own section. Yep, that's correct. Inconsistency of references style. That's correct. Yes. This is a matter, like, this one is a matter of, that's not so black and white. That's not black and white. Some dissertations will be written in first person singular, and some will be written in first person plural. So either way is possible. Yep, more formatting errors. Okay, so this group really concentrated on the format, so it found lots of formatting errors. I'm hoping that some of the other groups looked at the content too, though, and see that there are problems with the content, right? Things that can be improved with the content. Although I realize it's more difficult to identify problems with the content in such a short time. Oh gosh. My Wi-Fi connection is not doing so well today. Anyone else having Eduroam challenges? That's convenient. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, error abstract structure. Abstract should be behind the table of contents. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, the abstract usually comes before the table of contents, usually. Contents or table of contents, yes, that's correct. Table, number of keywords, yep. Yep. No word count. Okay, I guess that's good. Yeah, it's good to include a word count. That's true. Yes, so this group has identified some problems with the content. There's really it's not very good at going into the feature specification. There's no clear feature specification in this dissertation. Right? We don't really know what the must-have features are and what the optional enhancements are. It's hard to identify any of that. Yes, that's correct. The methodology is very unclear. It's not clear what happened if you look carefully. Like, what did they work on? Why did they work on it? It's not clear. Yes, inconsistent use of color, unnecessary figures. Okay. Yes, that's true. The figures, the quality, I would say the quality of the figures in general is quite low. Right. That's true. The evaluation is very, very weak. This is not an example of good evaluation. That's true. Missing the project plan. Yes. So this is a good assessment of some of the problems. So nice job for this group. Maybe we should have group names. Okay. Okay, so the table of contents should be after the abstract. That's correct. Yep. Too much white space with one page being 80% empty. I don't worry too much about white space. I don't pay a lot of attention to that. I might, if it looks to me like somebody's using white space to just make their dissertation look longer, then I will discourage that, but I don't look that carefully at white space. The number of directories is incorrect. I'm not sure what that means, the number of directories. I'm not sure what that... Does anybody in the group want to explain what that means? I don't know what that means. Anybody know what that means? Nobody. Acknowledgements are too lengthy. It's okay to have it's okay if your acknowledgements take up 20 pages. It's fine. The chart format is not. Generally, there are inconsistencies in the formats. List of tables is labeled incorrectly. Yes. So I would say the related work section is it's very hard to read, right? The related work section. Also, you want to include images in your related work section. So you want to introduce subsections into your related work section, right? It shouldn't just be a whole lot of text. You want subsections in there. And you want images too. You don't want just raw text for 10 pages or something like that. Missing index of the references and project plan. Yeah, I think it would be nice if, there are clearly lots of problems with the references. Okay, this is a comment on the format, right? Yes, and there's a problem with the references. You know, the references is something that all the supervisors check. Everybody, all the academics check the references to see if they're complete, right, or in the right format and how they're ordered. All the academics will look at that, and they will subtract points if your references are incomplete, like poorly formatted or poorly organized. They will subtract points. Okay. Okay, this group has left out their names. It's good to have the names of the group members. Okay. Yes, the contents page, so that one's an easy, that's like a freebie in terms of noticing what can be improved. Yes, a lot of the page numbers. Yes, this is nice that somebody noticed this. The title is really poor. If you look at Bob's project guidelines, it recommends titles with just 3 words. Anybody know why that is? If you need more words in a title, you use a title with 3 words and then a colon and then a subtitle with more description. But the main title should really be limited to 3 words. It's because whenever somebody refers to a publication, like a book or a research paper, they only use 3 words. If you listen to them carefully when they're talking, like the Marching Cubes paper or the Joy of Cooking book, right? They're always using 3 words to refer to previous literature. So you want to have those 3 words in your title. Okay, yep, we don't need quotes, that's right. Redundant information could be removed. Yes, some of this is not really necessary. So, like, if you're using you only go into detail about IDEs that you really use. You don't go into too much detail about IDEs that you don't use. So that's a flaw with this dissertation, right? Yep, the formatting needs improvement. Poor reference material. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Yes. Also, another problem with the images is that the captions of the images are very, very terse, right? We can't really understand the images by looking at the image and then reading the caption. If you want a good quality dissertation, every image is clear and then you have a clear caption. So when you read the caption, you know what the image is and how to interpret it. Right? That's not possible in this dissertation. The captions are too short. They don't actually offer a description of what's in the image. Inconsistent font, yes. No link for the online repository. Vague, non-descriptive system, yes, that's correct. So this group identified some problems, some big problems. Okay, the abstract is after the table of contents. Yes, thesis structure can be formatted. Yep. Yeah, there are problems with the thesis structure as well. You might have noticed in the table of contents, there's like a subsection for each related piece of research, and that's not necessary, right? Appropriate citations are not provided. That's true. It does not contain the section's project plan. Yes, timetable and design. Yes, that's good job noticing this, right? It's missing some important subsections, some important content. Yes. Yes, that's right. That's right. So this is good. That's a good thing to spot. Right? Very good. Good observation. Some people provide like some just samples of source code in their dissertations, and that's fine. If you have like a procedure that you think is important that you want to include in the dissertation, that's fine. It's okay to do that. Yeah. Yes, the title is poor. Very good. Very good. Testing and evaluation is very poor as well in this. We're going to talk about that in more detail in future lectures. This is correct. That's well spotted. Yeah. It's okay if there's an appendix after the references. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, you can. It happens often that appendices are after references, so that's not a problem actually. But overall, good. Questions or comments so far? Oh, is it going to work? No? There we go. Okay, yes, referencing styles. Yes, that's big problems. Yes, that's right. That's right. Table of contents, wordy chapters, wasting too many. Yes, that's right. Sometimes there's content in there that's unnecessary and distracting. Like describing an IDE that they didn't use, but going into a lot of detail. That's just not necessary, right? Misplaced chapters. Yep, that's right. Style of figures. Yes, that's right. The figure captions are especially poor in this dissertation. Basically, they kind of ignored the figure captions. Missing chapters. Yes, that's correct. Confusing headings. Yes, that is confusing. That's well spotted. Yep. Lacks formulas. Lack innovation. Yes, that's true. That's true. This one lacks innovation in a big way. So that's very true. Well spotted. Redundant keywords. Yes. Lacking deeper evaluations. Yes. The evaluation is very, very weak in this one. It's really, really weak. So that's a good evaluation here. Abstract before the table of contents. Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes. Now, usually you do not include citations inside an abstract. Usually an abstract is self-contained, and then those references and citations that you need come in the introduction So the ones that you need in the abstract are in the introduction, usually. Now the acknowledgements, you'll notice that like acknowledgements comes at the end in Bob's project guidelines, but in the good dissertations they come in the beginning. That's just an arbitrary style. There's no exact science on that. So in a research paper, the acknowledgements are always at the end. But in a dissertation, the acknowledgements are usually at the beginning for some reason. I don't really know why. It's just the way it is. Yes, error in the table of contents. That's correct. Yep. Yes, project plan. Yes, missing. Yep. Yep. Okay, this group is, I think this group is going to do well, right? Because you know, comparing a dissertation to Bob's project guidelines is going to help you get a better score, right? I mean, Bob's project guidelines help you make sure you're not missing something critical, you know? By the way, Bob's project guidelines are not perfect. There's something missing there too. Anybody know what's missing from Bob's project guidelines? Anybody knows? That's a very difficult question, because I mean you just assume everything I write is perfect, right? They look so perfect, but there are two missing pieces to Bob's project guidelines. Anybody want to guess what those could be? The pieces that I don't like and bore me to death are the ones that are missing. Ones like the ethics, right? The ethics form. There's nothing about ethics in there. So in your dissertations, you might want to have something about ethics as an appendix, like your ethics forms or something like that. And then the risk assessment. A lot of academics like to see a section called risk assessment. Like what risks did you identify and how are you going to handle them? This subject bores me to the death, so I just am not going to talk about it and write about it. Right? You can use Chat-GPT. Anyways, introduction, Bob's project guidelines. Okay, has been unnecessary. I would actually cite Bob's project guidelines, right? It's peer-reviewed. It's in a journal, so you can cite it. And that's a good thing, right? For two reasons. One is the more citations you have, the smarter you look, right? The better. And you can justify why you organized your content the way it's organized, right? It's good to have some justification, like, I chose this organization because of this, you know. Okay, yes, okay. Implementation very short, no data sets, should be major focus. Yes, that's right. That's right. The implementation is not a high quality implementation. It's a low quality implementation. In fact, if you look carefully, it's hard to tell really what happened. In other words, it would be difficult or impossible to reproduce, right? If you wanted to reproduce this, it would be very, very difficult. Yes, that's right. Testing and evaluation is very weak. Yes, figures could be massively improved. Yeah, and it's not the end of the world. Like, you could have a section called conclusions and future work. You know, you could combine those as long as it's labeled clearly. It's not the end of the world. It's nice to have them as two separate sections, but if you really want to, you could combine them. Okay. I'm getting the vibe that the class is learning, by the way. Okay, yep. Table of contents is incorrect. Does anybody want to hear a useless story? Completely useless story? I'll tell you a useless story. I supervise students every year, right? Undergraduate projects, master's projects, PhD projects. This one is about an undergraduate, final year undergraduate project with a student that wasn't doing very well, right? He was struggling quite a lot with his dissertation. And he was struggling so much that I was getting frustrated myself, like I was getting a little bit emotional. And basically, like we were arguing a little bit, And he said something like, Bob, can I show you like a draft of my dissertation before I submit it, and you can give me feedback like on how to improve it? And I said, yes, of course I can do that. So one day he came in with a draft of his dissertation. We were looking at it, right? And I said to him, it's missing a table of contents. Like, it would be good to include a table of contents in there. And he looks at me and he says, what's a table of contents? And I almost had a heart attack. And then I'm like, okay. I said, well, I started to explain what a table of contents was. And then I said, it's really common at the beginning of a book, right? So I went over, I have a lot of books in my office. I don't know if everybody's. So I grabbed a book off the shelf, I opened it up, and I said, look, that's what a table of contents looks like. But then I stopped and I got really frustrated, and I turned to him and I said, you know what? I don't think you're really putting your best effort into this dissertation, quite frankly. Like, I don't think you're trying, like, at all, Because we were talking in depth about table of contents, and I just couldn't believe it. Anyways, that is a useless story about the table of contents. When I see the table of contents, I think about that conversation and how frustrated I was. At least he did kind of admit it. He was like, yeah, you're right, I'm not putting my best effort into the project. So at least he admitted it. Okay. Table of contents of the chapter is not displayed correctly. Abstract after the article. Directory. Use table tags and a list of figures. Yep. I mean, you can have a list of tables and a list of figures in a dissertation. Yep, incorrect citation. Title, testing and evaluation does not have a top grid display. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Yep, lots of problems with the figures. Yep, lots of problems with the formatting. Yeah, that's really bad, right? If a figure has no title or caption, that's really bad. Yes, that's right. Conclusions, not use a new page. I would say it's not absolutely necessary to start each section on a new page. I would say that's not absolutely necessary. It's fine if they're not on the new page. That's true, very important. Well spotted, well spotted. Okay, I think we'll go over one more, because it's starting to get pretty redundant, isn't it? Okay, yes, we got lots of errors with the table. References has missed the figure. I'm not sure what that means. Yeah. Does anybody want to explain what that means? References fonts used different from the references. Okay, that's a little bit confusing too. Table of contents and one introduction missed space. Okay. Different capture size. I think they mean caption. No consistency in format headings. That's right. Future scope work needs separate heading. Yep. Cannot use semicolon or comma at the same time. Okay. Yep. Yes. Subtitle need to be modified to. Okay. No project plan section. So that's correct. Yep. Okay. Most of the things. I think most of the errors we're finding now we've identified and are just appearing over and over again. I think we're going to stop there. Are there any objections to stopping now? Does anybody want me to keep going? Okay, I think we'll stop there then. Yeah, you're free to go. If anybody wants me to keep going or wants to talk to me about something, you can talk to me now. Yeah. Otherwise, you're free to go. If you're happy, you're free to go.